Okay, everybody sat here? Okay. Welcome to the September 15th meeting of the Woodbridge Board of Education. Good evening, everyone. I will call the meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. and I will call the roll. Stephen Lawrence.
Present.
Lauren Francesi.
Present.
Jeff Hughes.
Here.
Mike Strambler.
Here.
Aaron Williamson.
Here.
I'm the chair, Lynn Piazzik. Not with us at this moment, but on her way is our secretary, Sarah Beth Delpreet, and Jay Daya. Brooke Hopkins will not be with us this evening. Staff in attendance this evening, Mr. Christopher Montini, Superintendent, Ms. Donna Coonan, Director of Business and Operations, Ms. Carrie Borcherding, Director of Special Services, Ms. Annalisa Sherman, Principal, Ms. Cheryl Toffel, Assistant Principal, and Ms. Marcia DeGennaro, Clerk of the Board. At the first meeting of the school year, it has become our practice to publicly read the board's mission and vision and to share our goals for the upcoming year. So I will do that now. The mission for the school for the board is to create and foster a learning community that prepares children to be flexible, lifelong learners and responsible global citizens. Our vision is to empower and inspire future leaders who will positively impact our world. And our 2025-2026 goals, the board has adopted 2 goals for this upcoming school year. One on student growth and success, which is to promote and foster high expectations for student growth, active learning, and academic excellence for all learners. And the second is a community goal, which is to foster a strong sense of community through collaboration and communication. The community can read the mission, vision, and goals on the board agendas on a monthly basis. They're posted at the top of our agenda. At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next on the agenda is correspondence. I don't believe there was any correspondence received prior to 4 o'clock today. So we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is public comment. Anyone who wishes to make public comment this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 2E, which is our PTO update for the year. And we're welcoming the PTO president, Monica Phillip. We're delighted to have you here tonight, Monica, to hear about the plans for this coming year.
Well, thank you. Do I turn this on?
I don't know. Can you hear her?
Can you
Yes,
hear
they can
me?
hear you.
Okay. Well, thank you for inviting me, Lynn, and the board to share what we're doing this year with the PTO. So I'm Monica Phillip. I have met most of you, but for those of you who I'm meeting for the first time and some of the folks who weren't able to make it to open house this year, I'm Monica Phillip. I am a mother of a 4th grader and a first-year MAG student. We're very excited with the way that the school year has started. Professionally, my background is as an APRN, a nurse practitioner in women's health and primary care, and most of my background has been in community health and access clinics. So I am really grateful to now be representing the Beach Road School PTO as president. I think this will be a really strong year. I like to say that really our role as PTO is to facilitate the good that is already here. And so we're here to grow the good that the teachers and the administration and all of you have already created at Beach Road School, and to actively involve parents and teacher volunteers and all of you in that work. Here are some photos, some little snapshots to capture some of the good that we hope to recreate this year and some that's already happened. That photo in the upper left is from our ice cream social just last week, where many of you were, and it was such a success. Last week was a little bit of a heavy week, I will say, and this was such a bright spot for so many people. It was one of the highest attendance I've ever seen, and we had a wonderful time. You can see other events that we hope to enjoy again this year with the support of everyone. We have the Halloween Hoot, of course, Quasi International Night. We're moving to the daytime to be an international festival in March, so we can fully enjoy all there is to have during that time, including performances and food and everything else, and not push too late into bedtime. We're still doing our book swap in the fall, arts night. We're doing Scholastic Book Fair, of course, field day, math night. We are going to attempt to move the science night to a day program in the school. And we're collaborating with Principal Sherman and others to see how we can make that happen in an effective way that really touches every grade level. So we're planning to expand that. You can see here some of the programs that we have done and plan to do again in school. We have, Kara Rosner has done an excellent job, she's our academic chair, of really bringing in something that pairs well with the curriculum that the teachers want for each grade level. And this was something that we achieved for the first time in a while last year, to actually hit every grade level and make sure there was something meaningful there. We also do a lot to support the teachers in practical ways by offering teacher grants, and in more simple ways like offering food and offering goodies in the staff room to just give a little sparkle to the day. We work to keep the lost and found tidy, all of these things just to help keep the school running nicely. I will say we are hoping to expand our teacher grants this year to a grade level approach, as well as to include specials this year. We are lucky, I'll get to the budget in a minute, but we are lucky this year and have a little bit more bandwidth to approach giving to teachers. One of my aims this year as well is to make sure that we are seeing all the grown-ups too. I think that the kiddos is a default goal and aim and love for everybody. That's why we're here. That is why we are at Beecher. That is why most of us are in Woodbridge, is so that we can really love our kids in the school system here. But I also want to make sure that we're supporting each other, that we're supporting parenting, that we're supporting joy as we're raising our children together. I have for you on the next two slides our schedule for the year. We thought it was important to have everything pinned down in the middle of the summer so it could be included in the Beecher Road School calendar and to allow people to plan. So we, as you can see here, the things that we've typically done in the fall, we are doing again in the fall. We added a parents' night out this fall. We hope to do another one in the spring, maybe during the daytime. We'll see what people want to do. And this is more for reference, looking into the winter, spring, so that you have it all in one place. All of this is also available on our website. We're trying to really make that a hub of all information, so it's all on the calendar there as well. I wanted to talk briefly about what our budget looks like this year. I apologize, the screen is coming across pretty light, but maybe on your paper version you can see a bit better. We will finalize this budget with additional input from membership on September 25th. So this is not a final version, but I did want to give you a general sense of where we're putting the money. So more than half of our money, which this year is a budget of about $100,000, which would still allow for an additional $15,000 to remain in the bank for next year. So everything that we raise this year will be essentially going towards next year. We have academic enrichment, which is more than half of the budget. Community gatherings, about 20%. Staff participation or appreciation and support, about 12. BRS student support, so that is the funding that we offer to everyone who opts into any of our events who needs additional financial support. We pay for them to join us. We also have a small amount that we offer to just board allocations for things like pizza at our membership meetings, or offering a little bit extra for the poster board we need, those kinds of things that come up inevitably throughout the year. We have a slim margin of operating expenses, and then our fundraising, the actual money that we're putting in. We do have to pay fees, for example, for some of the websites we use and those kinds of things to offer to bring in money, is about 1%, 1 to 2% really. We're also going to set aside money we have in this proposed budget for something new. So not everything is set in stone. We want to make sure we're listening to what people want to do this year. Not that any of the events we have planned are all pinned down to the detail yet either. Everyone's welcome to be involved and help us create or recreate what those things look like. But we are going to, at our first membership meeting, talk about, is there something else we'd like to add at about $2,500? Additionally, we did do a survey at the end of last year to get parent and teacher feedback about what we thought we did well, what we could maybe improve upon for this year, if there was anything else people wanted to do. And one thing that came up pretty frequently was this idea of doing a sporting event. So we're already working that in, apart from this new member voted idea, but we're already working something into the spring. We're looking at maybe a hockey game, we'll see. So winter, spring. We are pivoting our main fundraising event this year to a readathon. The past 2 years, it's been our fun run. We're still doing field day. We're still going to support a fun run of some sort, but that's not going to be our main fundraiser. So our main fundraiser is going to be this readathon that Cindy Kruger is helping to facilitate and looking for coordinators to help her with that in the January-February timeframe. We, of course, this is a slide of just all the different ways that people can participate in the fundraising efforts. The Hoot, we're also re-envisioning the auctions for the Hoot this year by trying to encourage more people to offer their own goodness to the community, things that they can offer, things that they can teach us. What's something that's easy for you that you could share with another family or two that people would be willing to pay for to do? I think a lot of us have those things. Some of the ideas and some of the things have already come through of people volunteering to do design services, to take people on a hike where they can identify the birds, things like this that are just a really sweet way to bring us together. The art teachers are also helping us this year with a new art project that folks should have gotten information about this very week. It allows the work that they're doing in class to be purchased on items. So they upload the images to a website that we now have access to that's private to our own children, and then we can opt in to purchase it on a mug or a bag or any of those kinds of things, which I think is not only, yes, it is a bit of a fundraiser, but also just a really special way to have memories from this special time. We're continuing with Scholastic, Quasi, our Beecher Wear, and Picture Day as other ways that we do bring in funds. As a response to that survey that we sent out at the end of the year, we also have a direct link on our website for just a direct donation. So if folks are saying, we are living too busy a life to do keep track of all these other things, that's also a very generous way to give back to us. If you haven't seen this already, I'd like to introduce you to our board. Our board is full of high-achieving, kind, invested parents of Beecher kids, spanning from kindergarten through 6th grade. We have most of the people on this board are back with us this year, either in the same or different role, but we also are welcoming Dorothy Rhodes in communication and Sammy Falk as secretary. Lastly, I wanted to leave you with a copy of this information that shows both our website and our email, so you can reach out, and anyone in the community can reach out to us at any time. We really want to make this year one where everybody feels a part, everyone feels welcome. And we invite you as a board to join us for any and all of our meetings, our events. You know, this is a way that you can see parents in action and get feedback on what we can all do better. So thank you for having me tonight, and let's grow the good together.
Monica, thank you so much. Anyone have any questions for Monica? I have to say, I thought this year's ice cream social was amazing as always, but even more amazing because I do think that there was a huge turnout from the community. And what was nice for me to see was kids who came back and families who revisited, and it just was a real community builder. And so thanks to the PTO for doing that.
Absolutely, and we can thank especially, I'm going to give a couple names, Joanna Marlowe, Sarah Flashman, and Erin Murphy, who really pulled that together.
Yeah, they were great. And Stephen and Sarah Beth and I enjoyed
Yes.
giving out the ice cream, so we'll be there next year, right?
As long as you're playing K-pop Demon Hunters, top kids, I'll be
On
there.
repeat? Yeah, okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, Monica. All righty, consent agenda. The minutes from the August 18th meeting are included in this evening's consent agenda, along with the budget narrative, budget summary, and the detailed financial report. You'll also find in the consent agenda a revised 2026-2027 budget timeline, on which you will note that the first special meeting has been moved from December 8th up to December 4th to provide additional time for the board to review and discuss the budget prior to a vote at the regularly scheduled December Board of Education meeting. After the discussion at last month's meeting, the administration went back and revisited the timeline, and so they thought if we moved that first meeting up 4 days, it gave us the weekend and some additional time to look at the proposed budget and prepare any questions we might have for discussion. So, does anyone on the board wish to extract anything from tonight's consent agenda for further discussion? Seeing none, may I have a motion to accept the consent agenda? Mr. Lawrence, do I have a second? Mr. Hughes? Motion made by Stephen Lawrence, seconded by Jeff Hughes. All those in favor? Unanimous, thank you. All righty. So I'm just going to tell you all to make sure you take this page and put those dates in your calendar. Now, Superintendent's report. Mr. Montini.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I'd like to begin my report this evening with gratitude. The opening of school was very smooth. It was exceptional, in my opinion. BRS is a vibrant, caring community, and I'd like to thank all those involved in the opening of school, including the administrators, the faculty, the staff, the PTO, the parent and greater community, and board members. Everyone had a role, and we're off to an excellent start to what will be an incredible year for 25-26. In keeping with the theme of gratitude, I want to keep with a new tradition, I believe that started last year, where we take a moment to recognize teachers who achieved tenure or will be achieving tenure this fall. In Connecticut, tenure is realized once you have been in a district for 40 consecutive months, and then you have a contract for the following year. If you already have tenure in one previous district, that's shortened up. It's actually cut in half. We have a number of teachers this evening, a handful, and I'd like to read their names. Sarah Burke, Carissa Catalina, Lucille Smitek, Rafay Irfin, Natasha Knobloch, and Janet Criscolo. Congratulations. I know that they are leading very busy lives and that they can't be here this evening, but I let them know in advance that I'd be giving them a brief shout out. We're grateful for their commitment and proud to have them serve the students of this wonderful community. Tenure is important. It reflects not only the professional commitment, but really the decision to continue their journey with us. They chose Beecher, and they're staying at Beecher, and that speaks volumes to the culture, the support, and the collegial spirit that exists here. It's something that every time I have an opportunity to speak, I keep saying the same thing, and that's because it's to me, it's tangible. You can feel it in every interaction. And the dynamic is there. It's real, it's lovely, and it's special. And this is at a time in education where there are opportunities everywhere, and districts are competing for talent. So to have folks and teachers that choose to remain with us, that's something that we should celebrate, and I know that you'll join me in recognizing these fine individuals. So thank you. As a reminder, I would love to sit down with you if you have a chance, 10, 15 minutes. We can make the conversation as short or as long as you would like. We also can do it, we can be creative. If you're busy, we can hop on a meet. We can back it up to a meeting where you are going to be in a building so that I can just learn from your perspective and have one-on-one. Typically, we meet as a group. And when you're a group, and certainly you come to some kind of consensus, generally that's binding or at least close to it. But I want to give you an opportunity as an individual parent, let's say, in addition to board member, to sort of help me understand all of the things that are wonderful about this community and where potentially we can continue to grow. So reach out at your earliest convenience. I'm going to move to enrollment, which is, as you know, I put it in my weekly update, and I'll continue to do that, even if no news is good news and enrollment's flat. Enrollment is currently at 157. We have 5 or 6 if you are not including the additional sections of MAG at each grade level. If you are, then 6 or 7. This number is 7, it's 7 fewer students this year than last September. So we're right in line with last September. And the average class size ranges from 17 in grade K to 21 in grades 5 and 6. And again, that's average class size. We could have a class of 22. So interestingly enough, too, was reading some old projections today and learned that, and this might not be new news to you, but in one of the reports, I believe from, MP, Mike Zuba's, MP Planning, he has been in a number of different places. I still think he's at SLAM, but he's not. But net migration. So there was a question today. I thought our enrollment was higher. But we averaged between 33 and 47 new students throughout the course of the year. So if you are thinking, but we're going to have 875, well, we very well could be 875 by the end of the year. Over the last decade, Beecher averaged plus 25 students throughout the course of the year. But if you look since 2021, the average is 33, topping out as high as plus 47 students. And also, interestingly enough, and you had shared this with me the other day, where first grade is the largest, first grade, it's an average of 19 new first graders a year over the course of that time, with second grade being the next
Close
most.
second.
Yeah, close second with a few less. So I think interesting facts as we continue to think about enrollment, the impact of enrollment on our future planning. But we're enjoying nice class sizes and are, again, off to a great start. So we were very successful, I would say, in majority of our staffing over the summer. They worked hard. We filled classroom teaching positions, yet we have 2 positions that, as I spoke to you about in August, no, not 2 positions. It's actually 6.5 positions, but it's 1.5 or half-time psychologists and 6 paraeducators. And as I communicated to you, we were going to try for another couple weeks at that point to try and fill them, but we've not been able to fill them. So I have for you, I'll share with you this evening our backup plan, which will be temporary for at least this year, the remainder of this year. And that is, we have a half-time social worker that's currently in place, serving students every single day at Beecher Road School. We haven't spoken to this individual yet, but our plan is to speak with them as early as tomorrow and have them work full-time for the remainder of this year. We know that there was interest, but no formal offer. We're going to do that this week. That won't incur any additional costs to the board since the position is already in the budget at 0.5. 2.5s equal the 1.0. It will require us to balance a little bit of schedules, so a psychologist might test a little more, which would free up the social worker to have more groups with kids. But in essence, we would be able to execute what the board intended in terms of its budget and be fully staffed to support the students that require those services. I'll let you know how that conversation goes. Again, we'll do that very soon. The plan for paraeducators is we recently met with a company, a recruiting temp company, a recruiting company, and we are awaiting additional correspondence from them. I'll call it a contract, although one of the nice things about this agency is there's no expensive fees, finder fees. There is a markup, of course, they have to make their money, but there's no long-term contracts. We met with the union and we discussed it with the union, and they realized that we're doing this because of these remaining hard-to-fill openings. The markup essentially is that they charge on an hourly rate is negated by the fact that they take care of sort of the benefits, the workman's comp, the pension, the Social Security, payroll taxes, et cetera. So we expect that it will be no cost, but it could be low cost, and it's not going to impact negatively the budget in any way. So that's where we're at with staffing. If we do that, then we essentially will be fully staffed. Happy to answer any questions as it relates to some of the things that I shared.
I'm assuming you need no action from us to do either of those things.
No, we're living within the confines of the budget that you already approved, and there was no additional movement, et cetera. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And I would just make a comment that, about our tenured teachers, offer the board's congratulations to them. And for me, I know that so many districts, when I meet with the other board chairs from CABE, we hear about issues around retention and keeping teachers on staff. Teachers begin and they leave mid-year. They don't even complete a full year. So I think the fact that we have the number of teachers achieving tenure and staying in our district is a real testament to our community and our school district and to our administration and to the colleagues that they work with, because that makes such a difference. So congratulations to them. Anyone else have anything that they want to pontificate on, as I often do? Okay, then we'll move on to our BRS update. Thank you, Mr. Montini.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Thanks for allowing me to be here with you tonight. As Mr. Montini mentioned, we launched our school year, and Mr. Montini and I were chatting after the kids had sort of entered the building, and we were talking about how it just feels so much better when the kids are back. The building is full and just energetic and happy, and there's children that are holding hands and they're skipping down the hallway, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful feeling to have them all back again. So we are so happy that our school year launched. There was bubbles and music when they came to school, and there continued to be bubbles and music. Mr. Montini was very impressed with my bubble machine. He wanted to know which one it was and where it came from because it made a lot of bubbles, and the pre-K kids love it. I leave it out extra long for them. And we also had our very first whole school walk with lots of bubbles and music as well, and that was a roaring success, I think, and we're off to a really great start this year. I have to give a shout out to our amazing PTO, not only Monica, but all of the people who made the ice cream social happen this year. It was, I think, the biggest crowd I have ever seen. It was incredibly well organized. It was just a joy to have the whole entire community together, and made me feel really lucky to be working at Beecher Road School surrounded by all of those amazing families. And of course, the ice cream was a huge hit. Our next big PTO event coming up is the Halloween Hoot, and more information about that will, of course, be forthcoming as they continue to work on it. Moving into a more serious topic, we did begin our universal screening. It is our assessment window that is starting just this week, actually. Our students in grades 1 through 6 are taking STAR Math. Students in grades 4 through 6 are taking STAR Reading. And then students in grades K to 3 are being assessed using our DIBBLS screener, which is a state-approved screening diagnostic tool. The State Department of Ed actually added additional measures that are required in DIBBLS, some subtests that are required, and our literacy specialists are working really closely with our K to 3 teachers to implement those new subtests. More information and scores are always shared at conferences or also available should a parent request it. And we also will be implementing or continuing to implement our STAR scores getting inputted into PowerSchool so parents can access them. We do wait until the end of the testing session, so they won't be in immediately, but when the testing session is completely done, they will be put into PowerSchool. We also launched Hispanic Heritage Month beginning today. We were very happy to have 2 6th grade students join us for morning announcements, supported by Senora Goldberg and Senora Carney. They shared a quote in Spanish and also repeated it in English for those of us whose Spanish is not very good. And staff also received some resources. They do a number of activities on their own in their classrooms, but as always, we shared out some school-wide resources, an introductory video about Hispanic Heritage Month, as well as a few resources unique to different grade levels. And I have to say thank you not only to Senora Carney and Senora Goldberg, but also Ms. Crocco, our librarian, and Ms. Ortiz for helping to support that work. And finally, I want to give a quick little conversation about our responsive classroom. You know, we talk a lot about Beecher, about building classroom communities, and I think that it's hard to understand what that means unless you're seeing it and living it every single day. So at the start of the year, our teachers begin by asking the students what they would like their year to look like and what it might look like in a 3rd grade classroom or a 5th grade classroom with the students and the teachers and working together. And they create lots of charts actually about what teaching and learning will look like in their classrooms. And they also talk a lot about the hopes and goals that the kids may have for the year. And they ask the kids to visualize those in some ways. And then after all of those conversations and all of those chartings and all of those individual reflections, the teachers and the students create classroom expectations. This is a lot different, I think, than just slapping some rules up on a board. It's really a collective conversation, and it's based completely off of what the students have identified as what they want their classroom to look like and also what they hope to do in the coming year. And I want to highlight that because I walked around and I was looking at some of the classroom expectations. And, you know, there's the traditional, like, you know, be kind, but then there's also a lot of students who really identify exactly what they need to be successful in the school year. And it's a tribute to the work that our teachers do to really build those classroom communities. So I just wanted to highlight that responsive classroom practice that is just really important as we launch the school year and helps to build our classroom communities. Any questions for me? Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Lisa. I've heard only good things about the start of school, Lisa, so. Yeah. Beecher Road School Infrastructure Building Committee update, Mr. Hughes.
Sure. lots of meetings. We've been meeting as a committee. We've been meeting with the newly formed Building Oversight Ad Hoc Committee as well. We met with consultants in all of preparation for the tri-board meeting Thursday, the 18th, 6:30. The
Center cafeteria.
Center cafeteria, thank you, where the plans will be presented. So lots of progress being made, right on schedule. Looking forward to that presentation. Hopefully everyone can make it, but we're right on track for that, which is great.
Perfect. Any questions? 6:30. 6:30. I'll repeat it at the end of the meeting in my community service announcement. Go ahead, Jeff. Facilities.
Facilities, yes, we met 9/4. Vito and team did an excellent job at the opening of school. As always, school looked great. No real issues. Lots of fixes from exterior fences to new fire panel. I think he had 105 closed tickets. It's quite amazing what they do. Such a short window too, nonetheless. But school is definitely looking good. We reviewed the grounds project that held up well over the summer. Maybe one more railing to fix. Other than that, I think they're pretty much buttoned up with that. The new roof section's holding up well, so things are good in that department. They're also going to be rolling out the Annihilator system. More to follow on that, but we're excited. Essentially, Beecher will be producing its own cleaning solutions. Lots of cool technology with it. Really excited. Hopefully some good cost savings and some really good stuff for the environment. But we'll probably do a little presentation, something to roll that out as well. And then we also talked about some life expectancy of our systems and also of our custodial equipment too, which you can find in your packet. As expected, along with our aging building, we have aging infrastructure as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is incredible to have.
Yes.
And Vito's going to be working on, I've been told, expanding it to include the roof and all of the other things that we know are like coming down the pike. I remind the community that our roof replacement only covered
Less than a quarter.
less than a quarter of the entire roof at Beecher Road School. So just as it is, as if it were your home and you only replaced a portion of your roof, you know that somewhere in the very near future, you're going to be replacing another portion of that roof. So all of that information is great to have, and Vito's doing, I think, an amazing
Excellent job.
Cataloging all of it for us. So, at the Facilities Committee, we ask that that be shared with the board. Anyone else have questions or comments on that? I also want to thank you, Jeff, for bringing that, however you say it, cleaning machine to our school. Jeff is knowledgeable about it through Yale, and he brought it to the Facilities Committee. He brought Donna and Vito down to see it, and I think it's really going to be an addition
it's
to
great.
our, yeah,
And plus, it was tested down at Yale for a few years, so we know the results are there.
great. So I'm going to look forward to seeing it in action. Okay. Hi, Jay. Just for the community's information, our secretary, Sarah Beth Del Preet, has arrived, is now at the table, and Dr. Jay Daya has also arrived, is now at our table. Finance Committee.
All right. Well, we are 2 months into the new fiscal year, at least as far as reporting goes. And thank you to Donna for putting together, as always, great reports. To hit on the highlights, the total projected cost for all categories is currently estimated to be $202,000 under budget, which, hey, if we can keep that going all year, wonderful. But, nice to know we have a little cushion as we start out. Most of that savings, the vast majority, are located in the 100 series, which is salaries. We have an estimated $193,000 surplus. This reflects a combination of teacher turnovers. Newer teachers are a bit less expensive than long-term teachers who've been with us for many years. We have a vacant teacher position and a vacant school psychologist, which Superintendent Montino just spoke about. Those are the primary factors accounting for that surplus. In the 200 series, which is benefits, we show a $29,000 surplus. This is basically a best guess. New staff don't come on to our insurance until September 1st. So until we actually had that information, we'll have a much better idea in October as to exactly where we stand in terms of benefits. The 300 series purchased professional services, which includes legal, audit, and other expenses. We're currently forecasting a roughly $28,000 surplus. We had budgeted for services 1 day a week through ACES, but we're able to actually bring that person on as a part-time employee, which is resulting in savings. And just nice having great people on the team who are, really committed to Beecher. 400 series purchase property services. We're currently at about 10,000. We're currently about 10,000 under budget. Basically, our micro turbine maintenance contract came in higher. You can watch last month's meeting if you want to know everything there is to know about micro turbines. It's fascinating. But if we have another mild winter, energy savings should offset that increased cost. Basically, then, we're pretty much on budget for the 600 materials and supplies, 700 furniture and equipment, and 800 dues, fees, and miscellaneous, including the Ezra Academy nurse. We only have one element, the 500 series, where we're on the higher expense side of the ledger. This is other purchase services, which includes things like student transportation, tuition, and interns. We're currently running an estimated nearly $59,000 over budget. And what this is at this point, we're anticipating that we're going to have an outplaced tuition expense, which is accounting for the projected overage. And, that was not something that was known at the time the budget was prepared, close to a year ago. So, Donna, anything else you would add?
No, I think you did a beautiful job.
Oh, thank you. It's like between cough drops. I'm like,
Yeah, I can hear it.
Any questions on the Finance Committee report?
Just one quick one. So the teacher's gonna be, we're hiring for a teacher, right?
We are not hiring for a teacher.
We're not hiring for a teacher.
That is we eliminated one kindergarten position that was budgeted for because of our lower enrollment in kindergarten this year.
There may be a need mid-year based on students to add perhaps half section of preschool. We're not sure yet, since they're qualifying for preschools on a rolling basis when they turn 3. That information comes from another agency. We know there's an increased number of 3-year-olds. We're just not sure if they're going to qualify for our programs. So mid-year, we might be adding preschool, but we're not filling the full-time classroom teacher K
position.
position.
How much of that surplus was due to staff turnover?
125,000 of the 200 is the savings between.
So I'm trying to find out what's the real saving here, because we've got the teacher, that's
iffy.
questionable. We've got the other part-time positions that could be filled. I'm thinking, what's that real saving? Because it seems to be just about the same amount as the added district placement, is the way I'm thinking about it. Does that make sense? Maybe a little more.
Well, I have, in my estimated additional, I have factored in the real savings of the vacancies. If we think it's going to stay vacant, it's considered savings. If we think in the case of the pairs, we believe we will hire them. So I'm, saying that expense is coming. So if everything happens as we think, we do have some savings, but we also anticipate some additional tuition.
So I always look at the worst case scenario rather than the one that we're at now. So I'm thinking, if we do need that preschool teacher, what comes off?
Yeah.
People will look at that number and saying, are you over budgeting? Every year, are you asking for more than you want? So I'd always want to say, no, you're not over budgeting.
Right.
Clearly, what you're saying is, we're being prudent, we've cut back on the preschool, but we still don't know what that situation could be. And I would always put a sort of a tag on that and put a little star next to it to say, It may be that number, but at this point, that's our best guess
Right,
estimate.
no, I mean, the reason we're not over budgeting is we didn't know that we would have staff retiring, that were more experienced, more, higher
That's why I
cost
would say
teachers.
that to me is the saving, because you've got younger staff coming in and older staff leaving. That's the saving.
That
So
is it.
that's the part I would say, yeah, that's the one I would want to focus on rather than the drop in the section, because that, something might happen during the year where we may need to call, we saw that previously, may need to call on that. So I would say at the moment, being extremely prudent, I would say I would take that one salary off and say, I know you have to work to the end of the period. I'm a forecaster. So I look at where we're going to be at the end of the year, and given what I'm hearing, I would say, I would still earmark that, just
Right.
to be safe.
Although just for the sake of argument, in a sense, if the position's not filled till mid-year, you would really, to your point, only be setting aside half of that. Or
Right,
sort of-
so each
so in a
month-
sense, it's in excess of 125. It's 125 plus half of whatever the salary is.
So
for that
each year, each
other
month
teacher
as you go on,
position.
I think I said this before, but it's great to have a surplus on salaries. That means somebody's not in the classroom, but in this case, this is good, because we've reallocated the sections, we've optimized in that area, so this is a saving. And so this was my question. What's the likelihood that we're gonna get 100% of that? And I'm hearing, I'm not sure, it depends on how the year goes. The year goes, then we're good. But I always like to be prudent to say, we might have to draw on that at some time.
Yeah,
That's
and
all.
we know we're gonna hopefully fill those 6 para slots.
Slots
And
as
the
well.
social worker's gonna take the .5.
Right, that's a
So,
switch.
right,
Right, and the other part is the interns. I noticed that, do we have sort of interns coming in? Because I noticed we've still got a surplus, an over budget, which is good, but is it good? Because those are teaching support staff and they work in the school.
We have 2 of 3 interns hired. Anybody help me out? We have 2 of 3 interns hired this year. Yeah.
Okay, so we're still one short. Okay, so that's where that's showing up as well. So that could all I like to look at is where are things going to disappear. So we always start off with this huge surplus.
Right.
I just want to remind everybody that huge surplus usually by the end of the year doesn't exist, because the other needs that come in, but at the same time we're assuming that one section. And I think we have to be a little careful on that one going forward. At least from the numbers that I saw that you provided, and now you said to me, is a rolling basis, I think that creates even a bigger problem, I think.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
It does. I think the points are well taken. I think that the preference would be to show it and be transparent with the explanation, so the community does have an understanding that we have another 9 months left of school and a lot can happen during that 9 months.
Right. And that's what I always like to emphasize on these things,
Yeah. thank
especially
you.
when we're seeing a surplus like this.
I would also point out, as far as the interns, that it's important to recognize that the interns are typically pre-service teachers, and the pipeline of pre-service teachers, it's getting harder to fill intern positions because there aren't as many pre-service teachers in university programs pursuing teaching certifications right now. So I think that's something to pay attention to, as far as, interns are a really critical resource, not just for helping to run the building and being engaged in the school community, but also, you can hire them when
Future
they
pipeline.
Right.
when they finish. So so that is a little bit of an indicator. I don't know what it looks like. I know what it looks like on my end of the secondary level, but I'm sure you're experiencing the same kind of things with just not having as many candidates for internships available to hire, where we used to have to turn people down for internships in our buildings. So I think we have to pay close attention to that, because that could be an area where it could impact staffing a little bit if we don't have enough interns coming in the coming years.
It will just affect our subline if we don't have as many interns, we may go over our sub-budget, but together,
They should even out.
keep them in.
But it's a good part of the ecosystem, so it's hard to see that.
It's like, I think the paras and the interns are,
Yeah,
Critical.
Yeah, it's a tough spot right now.
but I didn't know, this was good news. I didn't know that the supply side, I'm now thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's really important on the supply side.
Okay, thank you.
Donna.
Cable liaison report.
Okay, so few upcoming items of interest. This Wednesday, there is a Zoom about understanding the 2025 changes to state education funding, which might be interesting. Are you planning to join that Zoom, Lynn?
Am I? No, I'll be at another meeting at that time.
Okay, okay.
Ms. Secretary.
Well, maybe I will try to join that one. And then next month, there is a legal issues workshop in person, 9 to 12 in Hartford, if anyone is interested in that. And then as a reminder, Cape Convention is the 21st to 22nd of November, and I brought with me a little highlight. We have our board chair and our finance chair is sitting here very intently listening. If anyone would like to see from last year's Cape Convention, you can see how much fun you can have.
This could be
But
you.
you got it,
Come
too.
on,
This
people.
could be you, yes.
Now, here's the interesting part
In
for
newsprint, how
the board. So I say to Chris Montini, see, I'm going to show this because you could be just as interested as Stephen Lawrence and Lynn Piazzik were at last year's Cape Conference. And Chris Montini said, and right behind your head is me. I said, see, he had our back even back then.
Just this right here. Just this right
He
here. That's all you need to
recognized
say.
that, yeah.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
Very funny. Very funny, yeah.
I was. That's-
So you, although we have anyone who hasn't yet signed up, and you missed the early registration, but you still have an opportunity to be part of a fun group that will be going to the Cape Caps Conference on November 21st. Also, do you have anything else?
Go ahead.
Well, you're really not done because the CABE Delegate Assembly is Thursday, November 20th. Sarah Beth has kindly volunteered to go to that in the past. I'm going to put her on the spot and ask, first of all, if there's anyone else who's interested, but if not, if she would attend again. So anyone else jumping at that opportunity?
If not, I will attend.
Good. So you'll make sure you register for
Yes. I
CABE
think I already, yeah.
Delegate Assembly.
We don't have the option of registering for that just as.
Oh, that's right. That's what Marcia said. Yeah.
Okay. Whatever you did in the past. Okay. So Sarah Beth will be our delegate to the CABE Delegate Assembly. She's always done a bang-up job. She reports to those of us who attend on Friday what they gave her for dinner.
And the quality.
And dessert.
And dessert, right. And who she got to sit next to and meet. So those are wonderful things. Okay, enough frivolity. Upcoming meeting presentations. Our October Board of Education meeting is going to include a presentation on our extended day program. And also, Superintendent Montini will be sharing some information on open choice at that meeting. We will not vote on open choice at that meeting. We asked last year that we have some background information that would be shared at the October meeting so that when we need to vote, we have information that we may need to make that decision for open choice. Also, the SBAC results will be shared with the board at that meeting as well. So I'm going to ask board members to reach out to Chris if there's anything specific that you would like him to have included in the extended day presentation. He'll pass that on to the extended day people. In any information you're looking for about open choice and anything you want included in the presentation on the SBAC results. So if you could reach out to him in the next 2 weeks so that he has some time to prepare, that would be helpful.
And is that meeting October 21st?
Getting to that. That is now my monthly community service announcement of upcoming meetings. First on the list, which Jeff already mentioned, is the Tri-Board meeting with the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance to receive information and cost estimate proposals from the BIUBC committee and Antonazzi and Associates. That's scheduled for September 18th at 6:30 in the Woodbridge Center cafeteria. The Policy Committee will meet on Monday, October 6th at 4:30. The Curriculum Committee is scheduled to meet on Thursday, October 9 at 4 o'clock. The Finance Committee is scheduled to meet on Tuesday, October 14 at 4:30. Now, everybody who wasn't paying attention on my board needs to pay attention now. This is heads up. Due to the observance of Diwali, the next regular monthly meeting of the Board of Education will be moved from our regular meeting date of Monday, October 20, to the next day, Tuesday, October 21st, at 7 o'clock p.m., same time, for our regular meeting, but it will be held in the South Assembly Room of Beecher Road School because this room is being used for another meeting on that Tuesday. However, the board will convene in executive session at 6:15 p.m. on that date, Tuesday. We'll be reviewing the WEA contract with our attorney prior to taking action on that at the October meeting. So note the change in the date, the location, and the time because of executive session. All right, so those are meetings. Cindy Kruger, PTO fundraising chair, has asked that I share that, and we've heard it now twice, once from Ms. Sherman, once from Ms. Phillip, that the PTO Halloween Hoot will be held on Saturday, October 25th from 10 to 2. And Cindy is hoping to see board members at the event and reminds everyone that the PTO is always looking for volunteers to help, so don't hesitate to join in on the fun. I'll be shooting off an email to the board with information about how you can sign up to volunteer and some other pertinent information about the hoop. Okay, any questions about those dates?
So we've moved it by 1 day?
1 day.
To the Tuesday?
To Tuesday.
Okay, that's the Indian New Year, I think. It's okay.
It said Monday night.
Yeah, so it's Monday, Tuesday. I think Monday is Diwali and then Tuesday is the New Year, typically. I can check. It should be fine.
All right, let us know, and then if you think we need to
I think
accommodate,
because
it is
day. I think Monday was the day that students had.
Monday
off,
is the
correct?
day students
Gotta
have
go by
off.
the official day,
Okay,
but I believe it's Tuesday.
all right.
Monday, Tuesday.
Well, we'll count on you, Jay, to help us out if we need to make a change to that.
So, according to Google, in 2025, Diwali begins on Monday, October 20th, with celebrations continuing
On
into
21st.
Tuesday, October 21st.
Because it's a new year.
But is it like sundown to sundown?
No, so we have sort of like Diwali and then we have the New Year celebrations on the day after, typically the day after. And so that's the way.
So I
it's
read that
structured.
same thing on Google, and I
Yeah.
thought we were good.
It's because you're thinking about the Jewish holidays.
I was.
I know.
No, I think Tuesday should be fine.
You think that's okay? I mean, we want to be respectful,
If
Jay.
anything changes, then I just won't be here. I'll be with the family.
Well, but then, just FYI, I'm gonna be calling in. Mike said he might not be here, and Jay, so you wanna make sure you have quorum.
I can make it here that day.
You can make it on
Yeah, I
Tuesday?
probably can't make it to the executive session, but I can be here for the,
For 7 o'clock.
Do you need that, do you need quorum though for voting on the WEA contract?
Well-
Because if he's not in the executive session,
Vote publicly. We're gonna vote publicly, but you.
right, but he might abstain.
He's just not going to get the, he'll have the contract that he can read ahead of time, right? That he can read ahead of time. It's just you won't have what the attorney presents as an overview of that.
Don't you have to be at the meeting to cast a vote?
You have to You have to be at the meeting,
To
the
catch
board
the-
meeting, but not at the executive session,
Okay.
because the information will be provided in the packet. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, if people are shaking their head, yes, so,
I think the summary documents that are provided will be enough for Dr. Strambler to make a vote in public session, just by perusing them even during the beginning of the meeting. Sure,
yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 would allow us to vote, even if you weren't here and you aren't here.
I mean, I'll-
Okay. You're gonna call in?
I can call into the meeting, but not executive session.
You, for executive session, you're saying? I just looked at our calendar just really quickly. Caroline has, there was a dive meet tonight, which I missed, and there's one that day too.
Okay, so will you be at the meeting to vote?
I'll be at the meeting, but
Okay,
executive
so
session.
like Dr. Strambler, Ms. Delpreet is going to read the summary provided by the attorney prior to
She was
voting.
on the.
She's also on the committee. She's on the committee too.
Oh, you were there. You lived it. Right, thank you. Okay, you think we're okay? Everybody? Want to make sure everybody feels okay about this?
As long as you're not
Okay.
dependent on me, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to call in for the meeting?
I mean, I have a flight that will land at 6:15, so, I mean.
Would it make more sense just to
You're
move it to
gambling,
Wednesday?
yeah.
I guess that's my question, yeah.
Well, I
Sarah
can't be here
Best.
Wednesday.
Oh,
Because I'll be on a flight.
okay. I'm happy to.
Oh, yeah, are you going to be here Tuesday?
We will. We're not going to fly till Wednesday.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, I think we're going to try and leave it for Tuesday and keep our fingers crossed that we have a quorum. If you know in advance, if you could let us know, that will help. Best we can do, right? Okay, new business, I don't believe there's any new business. So we're up to item 6, public comment. Anyone have public comment? Seeing none. At 8:04, I will ask for a motion to adjourn. Ms. Williamson, do I have a second? Dr. Strambler. Motion made by Aaron Williamson to adjourn at 8:04, seconded by Mike Strambler. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you very much. Marcia, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.